Okay friends, so without wasting any time, we're going to jump straight into today's tutorial. I set a footage here just so we understand what I'm talking about. So this tiny piece of fabric made up of satin, I just have satin that I created into like a rectangular shape. That's what we have here. We're going to be using it to create our bow. So I believe we all know how to create bows. So you're just basically going to carry out some running stitches along the center, and voila, your bow is formed. But before we get to creating the bow at the center, we are going to work on beading all around this rectangle. And for the beading, we are going to be doing some clustered beading. So you know that type of beading that gives you something very sparkly. More often than not, you see a lot of all these our huge designers doing those types of beading where you just have like a cluster of different types of beads and gems. And when I say gems, sometimes when I'm editing, I hear myself saying gems and it just sounds like germs, like dirt or bacteria. I'm not talking about germs in that term. I'm talking of gems, like I like to call these stones. So crystals, cluster stones, flat bottom beads and stuff like that. Those are the things that I classify as gems. So for today's video, we're going to be working with this brand new type of cluster stone that I got from Mr. Okoro in this cute little bag right here. We are also going to be using some broken glass beads, these silver broken glass beads. I have them here as well as some sequins. So these are the sequins I'm going to be working with. For those that have looked closely, or if you're also the type of person that likes to look at what other designers are doing and kind of just get an understanding of what they must have put together. So there's a particular type of sequins that people like Vicky James use for their style. So the type of sequins that is on this piece of lace, for those that are followers of this channel, you know when we worked on this particular piece of lace. So this tiny, very tiny types of sequins, that's what she uses more often than not for her designs. And I feel like these designs, it will be more work obviously when trying to sew it down onto fabric, but it sparkles a lot and just makes your work look really, really nice. We see that what I have here, this particular sequin, is different from what we have here, but because this is what I have, this is what we'll be making do with. Also for the beading, this time I'm going to be using fishing line. If you have invisible thread, please feel free to use it. If you have your regular polyester thread, for those that don't know what polyester thread is your regular sewing thread. So let me just show you. This thread right here, this is what we call polyester thread, and this is what we call fishing line. I have a video talking extensively about fishing line, where to find them, their sizes, how to use them, a lot. Go check out that video. I'll try my best to link it on the show notes. So now let's get straight into today's tutorial. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to be threading my beading needle. For those that don't know, when it comes to beading, there's a particular type of needle that we call beading needle, okay? And it comes in different sizes. The video I spoke about earlier where I talked extensively about fishing line, I also talked extensively about beading needle. So I highly recommend that video. It will be very valuable, especially for the new people on here that are seeing me or coming across my video for the first time. All right, so I'm going to be using the size 12 beading needle as well as the size 11. So I'll be using them interchangeably. So know that if you see me using the beading needle in this video, it's either the size 11 or size 12. Go check out my beading needle video so you basically understand why I decided to go with these two. So off camera, I'm going to quickly go off camera now, thread my beading needle, and then we'll jump straight into beading this fabric. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. I share valuable content just like what you're about to watch. Share with a friend and feel free to ask questions down in the comment section. All right guys, so like I mentioned, I've gone ahead to thread my beading needle. For this first one that I'm showing you guys, this is the size 12 beading needle, and this is my fishing line in 0.25 millimeters. All right, fishing line is very, very similar to invisible thread, so you can use them interchangeably. So I'm going to start off from this particular corner here. I'm not going to be doing too much talking. Please watch closely. I'll try my best to place my camera in such a way that you see what I'm doing clearly. If after watching the video all the way through you still have questions for me, maybe regarding something that I'm doing, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Remember to share this video with a friend. And yeah, friends, please watch as I go along, and then I'll come back and basically talk about everything that I've done. Before I keep quiet, let me just show us, just to avoid any form of confusion. So I'm starting off with just my sequin. So it's just one single piece of sequin that I have here. So I'm going to pass that all the way through into my thread. I'm also going to pick like maybe 2 or 3 pieces of broken glass bead, like what we have here. And we see them, these 3 right here. Just pass it through my needle. And then I'm passing my needle again into the center of this. I could decide to go ahead actually I could decide to go ahead. So I'm not passing my needle into the center of the sequin that we have here. I'm just going to slightly pick. It's hard to explain, but when you start doing it, you'll understand. So you want to create a situation where the number of beads that you passed into your sequin will lie flat. And if you want it to be curly as well, it's all your choice. But for me, I want it to lie flat. So I'm just going to, after I figure that out, I'll just pass my needle into my fabric like so, and basically come out underneath somewhere here like this. Can we see where this needle is coming out? And my sewing is not getting to the lining. For people that always say, Funmi, if I don't want my beading to show on the lining, you're just, to create that kind of thing, you just pass your needle lightly through the fabric. The only situation where you might not be able to avoid your sewing showing on the lining is where you're working with net. And if you don't double up your net, there's no way around it. Your sewing will definitely show on the inner part of the net. So for nets generally, I always advise that you use invisible thread, while for fabrics like this, you can get around with using, you know, fishing line or polyester thread. Anyway, I digress again. So now I'm just going to pull my needle through my fabric like so. Can we see what we have here? Exactly. And because I want this thing to just be very sparkly, I'm not really going for anything in particular. And this time I'm just going to pick up this, my rosemonte or clawstone or crockstone, whatever they call it in the market. I don't know. This stone, basically, I'll just pick it up and again pass my needle just slightly. I don't want it to show on the lining, just slightly through like so, and then pull my needle out again. And with this one, don't be afraid to adjust it. And let's see what we have already. Voila. Now I'm just going to pick just broken glass beads, no sequins. I picked about 4. I'm going to again go in and maybe pick up one. And for the choice of accessories, please don't feel pressure to use exactly what I'm. If you have just what's it called now, crystal beads, feel free to use crystal beads. For those that are new here and you don't really know beads and their names, I have a video talking extensively about beads and their names. Please go check out that video, just so you catch up with us and you don't feel lost or left behind. Okay, so if you have crystal beads, use it. If you have pearls, use it. There's no limits, guys. Can we see that everything is already forming? It's already coming together. So imagine doing this all around the perimeter. Or is it perimeter? Funmi, don't say what you don't know. All around this fabric, right? So now that I've explained everything that I did here, I hope we all get the gist. So when I'm doing things on camera, it basically makes sense to us. But if at all there's something I'm still doing and you don't get, please don't hesitate to ask questions. So I'm just going to keep quiet now again, and then allow you guys watch the way I'm beading all around this fabric. I'm going to give you guys a sped up montage. I'm not going to make it too slow, just so this video is not too long, because I like to look at my analytics, and my analytics just lets me understand the average time in which people watch my videos. So just to avoid unnecessary length, I'll speed it up a little bit, but even though it's sped up, you guys will still understand. So please watch closely, and yeah, let's work on beading all around this fabric. Okay friends, so this is the progress that I've made so far. Can we see what we have here? I'm still going to talk us through everything that happened here, but what I want to just quickly show us is, so now you can see that my fishing line is about 2.5 inches long, thereabouts. So I'm running out. So for those that always ask, oh, what do I do when my thread finishes? This is what you should do. So you basically just knot it up, and knotting up is just you pass your needle through your fabric again. Okay, make sure that you have something like a loop going on, and then just knot up like so. You can do what I just did now 2 times. Because I'm using fishing line is relatively thick, so let me just do this now twice. But if you were using something like maybe invisible thread, you can do that up to 3 or 4 times, just to make sure that your knot is secured properly. So I hope that was helpful to us. So now that I've done that twice, I'm just basically going to just cut off my thread like so, and then pick up another one that I have threaded right here. I hope we can see. So let me just continue now from this point here. Alright guys, as you can see, I'm pretty much done with beading the entire perimeter. I hope I'm using that word the right way, but whatever. I'm done beading the entire perimeter of this particular piece of fabric using a bunch of different beads and sequins and gems. So now that I'm at this point and there's no longer any space for me to bead, I'm just going to finish up my stitch here by just knotting up again. Remember how I illustrated it earlier? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This particular beading that I did here, you can incorporate it into anything. If you want to, maybe like you have like the bust area of a dress and you're trying to embellish it, you can just do this all over. Just imagine that this is like the bust point. Do this beading all over any type of stone, any type of bead you like, sequence. Just put everything together and make it as aesthetically pleasing as possible. However, because of what we are going for today, now that I've beaded this entire area, I'm just going to create like a running stitch at this point here, just to like create the bow that we are going for. Remember the video inspiration, what we had going on at that shoulder point on the straps of the outfit was something like 2 little cute little bows. So I'm just going to do that real quick. Create a running stitch at this point, and then I'll show us. I'm not going to do that off camera. I'm just going to do that on camera. If you've made it up to this point, I want to believe that you've already hit the like button on this video. If you haven't, maybe you forgot, please, now will be a great time to hit that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed and you're enjoying the video and you want to be a part of this channel, please do well to hit the like button. So I'm just going to go underneath what I've done. So I'm using just a regular hand needle for those that are curious. Another thing that I'm thinking of also mentioning is this my piece of satin fabric that I told you guys that I used for this stuff. I put interfacing inside of it, so just in case you're curious, if you're like, oh, how did you make your satin thick, there's interfacing going on inside. The interfacing I used is wadding, yes, soft wadding, and I also used my ST. So I ironed soft wadding on it and ST inside the center of this, and then I went ahead to just like turn the fabric inside out. I'm sure you guys get the gist, and if you don't get the gist, do I have a tutorial? I don't think so, but I believe we all understand what I'm saying. I don't think it will be necessary for me to create a whole tutorial explaining how to incorporate wadding into fabric. If you are a fashion designer, I'm sure you understand how that goes. My bow is looking cute. Can we see what we have here? Stunning. So this is what the front will look like. If you want, if you're extra, you can just do a little beading here just to cover up the center, or there's another way around this. But let me first of all make sure that this my bow is sitting pretty. Now that we have something like this going on here, you can just like have your, or there's many different options. So let me cite an example. I have this particular piece of stone here. I just feel like it will not give what it's supposed to give for this particular style because of the type of gem. So I could just have put this here just to cover up this center. Just create like a bunch of these stones. It could actually work. So can we see what's going on here? Just to cover up what's going on here and make the bow look very, very cute. I actually like the way it looks, so let me just like apply some glue here and then stick it on. I believe in my recent video about my July haul, the things I bought newly in July, I mentioned that I replaced my E7000. So the previous one I was using, it was already drying up. I think I was being careless with it, so I'm going to do better now. I got this from Mr. Okoro in Romamasi, by the way, for those that are probably interested in getting it. It's the E7000 glue, and it's one of my favorite glues. So I'm just going to apply it at the center point here, and then basically put my stones on top of it just so it covers up that center point. And I like to use this my fabric pencil as a picker. It serves that purpose for me too. So that's just a tip for us. So can we see what we have here? Tell me this doesn't look stunning. Amazing. And you remember on that particular dress, we also had like beading. Let me just pull up my phone real quick so I can talk us through. I'll also put a sidebar of what I'm talking about on the screen just so we basically understand what I'm saying. Let me just talk us through everything that happened here just as a form of recap, and so that everything I'm saying sticks with us. So I used some rose montees right here. I used some sequins. I used some broken glass bead right here. And I also used some sand beads. So I believe I showed us these sand beads. So I used this. The colors are kind of similar. So this is like the broken glass bead, and this is the sand bead that I used. And then I used some sequins I showed us at the intro, and then I used these what's it called now, rose montees, the recent one I got. And then I also incorporated some of these my old rose montees. Let me show us. So these are the old rose montees that I got sometime last year, maybe around this time last year, but the issue I had with it was the fact that it was changing color. So this silver was kind of tarnishing and I didn't like it. Anyway, this is it about this particular bow. For today's beadwork, you need your sequins. I'm using this red sequins. You need your pipe beads. This is slightly different from the typical one that you have. Take a screenshot and ask your beading vendor. I believe they will have it in their store. You need your crystal beads. Those beads were in size 4. And you also need your fabric of choice. I'm working with this reinforced velvet as well as my circle, my perfect circle pattern. I'm first of all going to go ahead to draw out this circle pattern on my piece of fabric using my fabric pencil. If you have a tailor's chalk, feel free to use your tailor's chalk to create this circular pattern or whatever shape you want. Feel free to use any shape. You don't have to use circles like me. After doing that, I went ahead to grab my scissors and just cut off this my perfect circle from off the main fabric. I'll do the 2 circles and then we'll move on to the next stage. The beading needle of choice for today's video is the size 11 beading needle, and I'm also going to be using my regular polyester thread. After knotting up my thread, I went ahead to just cut off the excess at the bottom. Next thing I did was to grab my fabric glue to just stick on my clustone of choice at the center of this circle. This is me trying to figure out the center points because I wanted the clustone to sit perfectly at the center. Now I'm applying my glue onto the clustone, and then I just placed my clustone right where I marked earlier. I placed the clustones on the 2 pieces of circle that I'll be working with. Next thing I went ahead to do was to tack my clustone to the center before I begin the main beadwork. For those that are new to the channel, I have a whole video where I talked extensively about clustones and how to tack them onto fabric. If you'll be interested in that video, I'll try my best to link it on the screen. Feel free to go check it out right after watching this video. After tacking my clustone to the 2 pieces of fabric that I have going on, I went ahead to knot up my stitch and then cut it off, and this is what we have here. These 2 clustones were already tacked to our circle. Now it's time to start the main beadwork. For this beadwork, talking might not do justice to this entire process, so above listening to what I'm saying, please watch what I'm doing. What I did just now was to pass 1 single piece of my pipe bead, and then I went ahead to go in with 1 more crystal bead in size 4, and this is what we have here. I went ahead to also show you guys so you see clearly. After doing this, there's a methodology to passing your needle. As opposed to just sticking my thread into the fabric, I went ahead to pass my needle through the pipe bead that I inserted earlier. Can we see the way my needle is going in? It's going in through. I didn't take it into the crystal bead. I just dodged the crystal bead a bit and then passed my needle into the pipe bead and then stuck it into the fabric, and then I came out right beside the place that I previously passed my needle through. I know I said a lot of things, but please watch me do this multiple times. I went ahead to do this about 4 or 5 times just so you guys get the gist. I'll keep quiet now, allow you to watch, see how I go about this process, and then we'll move on to the next stage in today's tutorial.
Okay, friends, this is what we have after I went about creating that beading style all around the clustone. This is what I'll be working with. I'll be working with sequins and size 6 crystal beads. Feel free to work with sequins and pearls if that's what you have, or sequins and whatever beads that you have. Alright, so what I'll be doing now is I'll be passing one sequin and one crystal bead through my needle and thread, and then I will pass my needle and thread through my fabric. Bring out my needle and thread again from underneath into the upper part of the pattern that we are working with. Pick one sequin, pick one crystal bead, stick my needle into the fabric, come out again, pick one sequin, pick one crystal bead, stick my needle into the fabric, come out again. Everything I just said now, that is exactly what I'm illustrating on the screen. So after listening to everything I've said, please look at the way I'm passing my needle and thread and replicate on your own project. So we'll be doing this, as you can see, I'm doing it at the edge of the circle, so the outer edge of the circle. I'm not doing it right beside the previous cage kind of situation that we created around the clustone at the center. I'm doing this at the edge of the fabric. After doing that, we'll move on to the next beading pattern that I'll be using in this entire process. So for this particular style of beading, we are working with about 3 different beading patterns to create something very stunning. So this is the power of learning different beading patterns. When you now combine all these different beading patterns together, you create something phenomenal. I have an upcoming tutorial for you guys where we also do a combination of different beading patterns to create a very fabulous looking headpiece. That tutorial is coming very soon. I have a lot of videos for you guys. I just pray for grace for editing and uploading and just pushing out all this content. Also, if you're yet to like this video, please, now will be a good time to like this video. As you can see, I've done this my beading pattern all around the outer edge of the circle, and I'm just showing you guys the space that we have right there. We want to cover every single part of this circle. So now we'll start with another beading pattern. This time we're working with sand beads and crystal beads. Those were sand beads in color red, and I also worked with crystal beads in size 4. So what I'm doing now is I'm passing my needle and thread through my fabric to the outer part, and then I'll pick 3 sand beads, 1 crystal bead at the center, and 3 more sand beads before sticking my needle into my fabric. If everything I just said sounds like a lot, patience, okay? I illustrated everything on the screen, so please look at the way I'm passing my needle and thread, picking up my beads, sticking my needle and thread into my fabric, and replicate on your own work. I'm going to keep quiet now so I don't distract you guys. If you've not subscribed, I'm sure you're finding value from this video, so please hit the subscribe button, like this video, share with your friends, and yeah guys, I'll do this all around the circle before I come back to wrap up this video for us. Okay friends, so after doing that beading pattern all around the empty space, I went ahead to knot up my thread, and now it's be time for us to now talk through the process of attaching this to the headpiece that we're trying to create. I'm going to switch now to my main microphone and then walk you guys through that entire process.
Alright guys, so this is the end result of the handcrafted applique. Look how gorgeous it looks with a combination of cloth stones, pipe beads, crystal beads in size 4, seed beads, and sequins, and more crystal beads at the side. With the combination of gems and accessories that you use in creating your own handmade applique, you can use any combination you like. This is just what I chose for this particular design. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I wasn't talking a lot. That's because I was watching a video and I wanted to be watching that video as I was recording. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the voiceover. I hope you got the gist. If you did, please remember to give me a big fat thumbs up. It helps me greatly. Thank you guys so much for the support so far.
The first beading pattern that we're going to be working on is what I have called the clustered beading pattern. And for today's tutorial, I'm going to be using pearl beads and this tiny piece of fabric. Feel free to create this beading pattern directly on the outfits that you're trying to design. What you want to do is, first of all, pass your needle and thread. I'm using the size 11 beading needle and a regular polyester thread. Just in case you're confused about what polyester thread is, it's your regular sewing thread that you use in your day-to-day sewing. And for this portion of the video, talking might not necessarily do justice to how to create this beading pattern. So I suggest that you look at how I'm passing my beads and then creating this clustered beading pattern. This clustered beading pattern is perfect for bust points and bodies of outfits, or even entire outfits if that's what you're going for. So it all depends on how you choose to incorporate it into the outfit that you have already designed. And of recent, I've been getting questions from people saying, "Oh, Funbi, should I bead my outfit before sewing or bead after sewing?" Please bead your outfit after you have finished designing and just sewing. Don't bead before sewing, because if you have your beads on your outfit and you're sewing is going to be very, very stressful. Okay, so design your outfit, sew everything, and then start to bead on the points of the outfit that you have created. And for beading, you need a body form or a mannequin. Okay, you can't bead easily or stresslessly, depending on what you choose to call it, without having your mannequin or body form. Okay, so invest in a body form. If you are running a fashion business and you want to incorporate beading into your designs, buy a body form or buy a mannequin and start beading on those outfits that you've designed. This clustered beading pattern can also be done in two different ways. You can do it in such a way that you're using just single beads, or you create it in such a way that you're incorporating two different types of beads. And you guys are going to see how I'm going to be creating that beading pattern. I'm going to keep quiet now, allow you guys watch the way I'm passing my needle and thread and creating this clustered beading pattern. After that, I'll try and do a little bit of explanation for us. If you're watching this video currently and you're not subscribed to this channel, you know you already enjoy what you're watching. I mean, you've made it up to this point. So please click on that red subscribe button and become a part of us. This family is a family of sewing and craft lovers. Okay, so join us by hitting the subscribe button, and remember to also click that notification bell right beside the subscribe button. That way you'll be the first to know every time I come with a new tutorial. And please, please, please show me support by clicking the like button on this video. All right, guys, so we've gotten to the portion where we are combining two different types of bead. I have my seed beads here in gold, and I'm still using my pearl bead. So you see the way I pass my seed bead with this pearl bead. So look at the way I'm passing my needle. I'm passing my needle through that pearl. Okay, I'm going to come closer again to show you exactly what's going on there. That is how you are going to go about passing your needle and thread if you are trying to create this style of beading. Okay, this style of beading, I know, might not be everybody's cup of tea, but if you like it, if you like what you see and you think it's something you want to incorporate into the outfits that you're making for your clients, please look at the way I'm doing it. I've passed my pearl and my seed bead. Now I'm going to take this, my needle and thread, and pass it only through the pearl. Don't pass it through the seed bead. Can you see the way the needle is going through the pearl? Look at it again. Exactly. So now after passing it like that, you now pass your needle through the fabric that you're trying to bead. I'm going to do this a couple more times just so it sticks to us. And once this is done, we're going to move to the next stage of this tutorial, where I'll be showing us the second beading pattern that I have to share with us in this video. Again, remember to like this video. Thank you. All right, guys, so this is what we have for this clustered beading pattern. Now I'm going to move to the next stage. This is the second beading pattern that we are going to be creating. I don't have a name for it, okay, but just look at the vibe that it has to it and then know if it's something you want to do. All right, so to start off, I'm going to pick up about 7 pieces of seed beads. Okay, feel free to use any type of bead. Your broken glass bead will also create this beading pattern perfectly, and your sand beads, Pearls, I don't think pearls will work in this kind of situation, except you're using the tiny types of pearls, which will also, we can as well call them the seed beads, right? So yeah, seed beads, broken glass bead will create this type of beading pattern perfectly. All right, so you see the way I passed my needle. I can't really talk you through, just look at the way I passed my needle. You want to just move to the side a little bit and then pass your needle through just the fabric. Remember, all these beading patterns I've been creating, I didn't allow my needle and thread to get to the back of the fabric, okay? So if you're beading on an outfit that has lining in it, you can create these beading patterns in such a way that your beading will not show on the lining. This is for my people that like to bead without the beading showing on the lining, okay? You're just passing slightly through the fabric. I'm going to keep quiet now, allow you guys watch the way I'm creating this beading pattern, and then we'll move to the next beading pattern that I'll be sharing with us for the sake of today's tutorial. If you've been enjoying the video so far, please show me by hitting the like button. The comment for today is shine, okay? S-H-I-N-E. If you've been following me and you want to show me that you've been following me, please comment shine in the comment section, okay? That way it will be our code for those that have been watching this video all the way through without skipping any parts. Now that I've made it up to a good point on this piece of fabric, I'm trying to just knot up my stitch here, and that was what I did there. Remember, I did not allow my beading to get to the back of the fabric. Look how clear the back of my fabric is, and the front beading looks incredible. Now it's time for us to create the last beading pattern for the sake of today's tutorial, and it's just a single line beading pattern, okay? When you want your beading to just be on a single line, and then this way you can also create any type of line you want and just follow it through to design your outfit. I'm using pearls as well. I just showed us the pearls that I'm using, and I'm just going to create this beading pattern on a straight line. If you want this beading pattern to be on a curve, on a zigzag line, on any type of thing, feel free to do it, okay? The choice is yours. At the end of this video, I'm going to show us some video inspirations where some of these beading patterns that I shared with us in today's video was used and the end result of those outfits, okay? That video at the end is going to just help us be imaginative with our creations and just come up with something gorgeous. I'm going to keep quiet now and let you guys watch the way I'm passing my needle and threads through as our custom here on this channel. If you have questions for me, feel free to drop it down in the comment section. But with your questions, please make sure that you have watched the video all the way through. You're not skipping and then coming to ask question again. I will not be happy, okay? So please, you guys, make me happy by asking me questions that I've not, that's something maybe that I skipped and you noticed, or something that you think I can even do as a form of improvement for our content on the channel, right? Those are the types of questions I want to see. And if you have any other question, please don't ignore me, okay? If you have questions, please feel free to ask your question down in the comment section. I'll be sure to attend to your question as soon as I see it. Also, if you're watching, it's almost the end of this video. If you're watching, I have not liked, please let me keep quiet now. You have 2 seconds. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I appreciate you. I see you. I appreciate you, and I thank you. Okay. All right. Also, if you're not subscribed, now is a fantastic time to subscribe to the channel. Become a part of us. We want more friends on this channel. Okay. So please subscribe to the channel and join us. If you enjoyed this tutorial, let me also know down in the comment section. Leave me your sweet feedback down in the comments. If you have video requests as well, feel free to drop it in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for making it up to the end of today's video. This is it. We're wrapping up, and I also left some footage of some outfits where these beading patterns were used and the end result. This is just supposed to ginger us to get creative and get beading and sewing. I mean, look at these outfits. They're simply incredible, okay? They were made by different designers on Instagram. I'm going to try and link the designers of these outfits. I believe I linked them at the beginning of the tutorial, but if I didn't, I'm going to link their page down in the description box as well. Feel free to go follow them to get inspired with their designs. This is the end result. These are the 3 beading patterns that we made today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, again, finally remember to subscribe, like, share, and leave your comments down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for your time, and yeah, I can't wait to see you in another tutorial very, very soon. Bye bye.